Hi everyone, this is Mandy. Welcome back. In this video I'm going to make some coasters using these cute little hexagon coasters. I'm using an Oopsie pillow paint that I've had for a while. It's like a pale yellow color. And I'm going to do swipes. So that first color is titanium white. This beautiful color here is Baltic amber. It took me a minute. This is Mayan gold. These are all new PrizmPour colors. This is Ambrosia. I love this color. And then this is rich Auburn. And then I'm going to put a little turquoise phthalo from Golden on the top. Now, if you saw a video a couple videos back, I used these same colors on a swipe on a 12-inch record, and I really love the way it came out. So I'm using this tiny little swipe tool, and I'm using a black cell activator. And I tried to use black and copper. I will tell you this first one just didn't go so well. I have too much paint. And I did a really bad job swiping it. So you can see that I try to make it work. And I'm sharing, I could have just edited this out, but I think it's important that you guys see when things go wrong as often as possible. So I kind of gave up on the dual cell activator at this point because it's such a small little tool. And I tend to struggle very much on the swooping, like the little S part of the swoop with that little tiny tool. And I'm thinking it's either because I have a really heavy hand or because there's just too much pillow paint on there, or both. So I took this little tiny knife. Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't scrape this one. Maybe I make this one work. So I took this little tiny knife and tried to kind of go through the places where the pillow paint showed up too much because of how I swiped it. So that sort of helped, but at this point I'm trying to see if I can open up some of those places where I have too much cell activator, because again, there's so much paint here that it's not entirely developing. So the colors are super cool, but I was expecting after the swipe that I did with these colors that these would go so smoothly and just be like the easiest things in the world, because, you know, coasters are generally not necessarily as hard as a larger surface when it comes to blooms. But if you're trying to do a little bit more of a composition design, it is more difficult on a small surface than a larger surface with a swipe. So, you know, it just goes to show you that even though we're using exactly the same colors as in that video, the result is very, very different. So I'm popping some bubbles. I sped this up significantly because how entertaining can, you know, coasters be, right? But I do try to show you the opportunities that arise. So, you know, not terrible, not excellent composition. So you see there, I was like, nope, scrape. So I did end up scraping this one, so I wasn't wrong. So let's try again. So the good thing is, you know, this paint base color is not a bad color, and it doesn't really show anyway. So I was looking at some of the supplies I have, and when I first started doing blooms about midway in, when I would practice a lot, I would buy these gallons of oopsie paint. And what I mean by oopsie paint, in case you're like, what are you talking about, is they're mist tints. So you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you check the little shelves that they have, and they have mist tints where customers have bought gallons and they've tinted them wrong, and the customers return them and they sell them for way cheaper, but they're weird colors usually. So anyway, let's see how this goes on here. But I want to try to deplete my stock of mist tint paint. I have gallons of it. And so since I needed to restock my coasters, I thought, well, that's a good time to use them, you know? So we've got the titanium white, we've got the Baltic amber, the Mayan gold. This color is Ambrosia. This is rich Auburn. I love these colors. And they look so good with the turquoise phthalo. I really questioned whether or not to use that color for a contrast, but I love the way they look together, especially with the Ambrosia and the rich Auburn right up next to the turquoise phthalo at the top. So you'll probably see these colors again. So you can see I gave up on the copper. I was like, you know, and I decided to change how I spread the paint out a little bit. And I was still trying to get a feel for what was going to work and what wasn't. So I decided to kind of swipe halfway. And you can see the cells and all that look great. Of course, I have this one weird spot, again, where I didn't swipe well. And I know that that's going to expand as I go along. So I put a tiny bit of cell activator on this tiny little knife, and my hand is just not steady enough for this to really work. But it did at least close the gap a little bit. So I could live with that. But I love look at those cute little cells and how adorable they are. I really love the gram cell activator. So this is the M gram lamp black cell activator. I get the acrylic, M gram acrylic from Blick, and I have a Blick link below in my description box. And I really love the way the cell activator works. It does a great job giving you these cute little cells, and I really enjoy using it. And it's easy to use, like Amsterdam, like it's kind of a medium body paint. It has kind of a creamy consistency, so it mixes really well into the Australian Floetrol. So there's the first one, and I think this one ends up being my favorite of the set. Here's the second one. Now, I will say that at some point, I apparently was not paying attention to my battery, and I lost my flash, and my battery was about to die. And so if the video ends abruptly, that's why, but hang in for the close-up. So I know we get through at least 2 of these together, but I do give you a close-up of all 4 later on. I just had to wait for my phone to charge, so it's sort of an awkward close-up of the 4 coasters as they dry on top of a used post office envelope. So, you know, sorry for the weird close-up in the end, but yeah, I was like, what happened? What happened to my video? Where's my flash? And I realized my phone was about to die, and I was like, wow, way to pay attention, Amanda. All right, so here again, I didn't do the greatest job with the swipe there, but sometimes working on a small surface like this teaches you how to recover from some of those, because, you know, it's a small surface and you kind of have to figure out how to make it work anyway. And now we have this big glob of cell activator in the middle, so I'm trying to figure out how to spread it out. I think I did okay. So let's see how this one evolves. Ultimately, I think these turned out pretty cute. I found that 2 of them seem to have more of a pronounced amount of cell activator, and this may be one of them where I just used a little bit too much of cell activator, and so there's more black showing on the coaster than the others. But because it happened on 2 of them, it kind of worked out. It wasn't like one was really dark and the rest of them weren't. There were a couple that were, so it kind of looked like we did it on purpose. At least that's what I told myself. So here I am out of camera frame. Sorry about that. Now the struggle here is I'm trying to get this to open up, and now I'm out of frame, sorry, and not lose where we have some good composition, but we want to open up the cells in the middle so we get a better design when we spin. So not perfect, but not bad. We're popping a couple bubbles here. What was concerning to me at this point is how dark that one particular section is. But I wanted to see how it played out as we stretched it out a little bit. And I think it turned out okay. Nope, it didn't. I scraped it. I tried to like it. I really did. Isn't it crazy though that you can have this much trial and error over some coasters? Like, it's fun. They're fun practicing, especially when you're doing regular blooms and you're first learning, because it's easier to get decent cells and stuff on a small surface. But when I started to make these, I was like, I'll knock out a set of coasters real quick. This was like an hour of work because of all the scraping and the messing with the composition and all that. So they really are little pieces of art at the end of the day. I know a lot of people charge a great deal for coasters, and I can appreciate that because of all the work that goes into them. And they are little small pieces of art. Plus, you have a lot that goes into them. The resining and the sanding and the putting the cork backs on and the all that process. But they are really cool functional art. So you see where it seems to fall apart for me is the swooshy part. As soon as I round that corner, I seem to really struggle with not digging into my pillow. And as many negative space swipes and stuff as I do, I still struggle with this. So I share that because, I've been doing this technique for a minute now, and there's still times that even on a little coaster, things don't go my way. So if you're learning the bloom technique, or really any acrylic pouring technique, you do have to have some patience for yourself. You really, really do, because it's a learning process. It definitely is a learning process. So my favorite composition is the one we finished first, but I do like this one. It's hard sometimes to see what it's really going to look like because of all of the mess on the spinner around the design itself. But once you pick it up, you can see a little bit better how it works. It's still pretty. Okay, so this third one is, I believe, where my camera cuts off. So if you see an abrupt ending, hang out till the close-up at the end, so you can see how all four turn out. That Baltic amber is so beautiful. Mayan gold. Don't forget, by the way, to check out the description box for the discount codes below, so you can save 20% off of anything on the Colourarte website with Mandy1120. There's 2 new sets that are out for a limited time for primary elements, and obviously the PrizmPour colors. I will be previewing the primary elements colors for you in a video once they come in. But yeah, it's a great time to save yourself some money, and if you have some artistic loved ones, great gifts for Christmas. And I also have other discount codes. I have Pixel Paint Designs, which is where I get my Australian Floetrol. Oh, I messed that up again. And I get my Boom Gels. So great resources for you guys. And I believe she just lowered the price of the larger Australian Floetrol. Super reasonable. So if you're looking to purchase some Australian Floetrol for cell activator and all that, good time to do that. You can see I have some composition challenges here created by myself. And so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to spread this out to open up the middle and get the part that I smeared and messed up to basically be at the edge so it'll spin off. And forgive me because I can't currently remember if the video cuts off for this one or not. I think it does. But I do manage to make this work. It was a struggle. I'm telling you, it's It's amazing how much time you spend on a little 4-inch tile sometimes. But it does end up working out. So what I'm pointing to there is how there's kind of a lot of the black cell activator in one place. I didn't really want it to look too harsh, but the end result I think still looks nice. So you'll see all 4 up close shortly. They'll look really beautiful after they're resined. And you know, you'll probably see some more videos like this because I do need to restock my Etsy shop, and a lot of coasters are purchased during Christmas time, so these won't be available for Christmas, but it does help me keep active things in my Etsy store. So hang in with me for the close-up. Sorry everyone, my phone died while I was still working on these, and then I realized I didn't show you the final close-up. So here is the first one. They're drying, so I have to be careful how close I get to them. And I think this is the second one. Really beautiful colors. I think this is the last one on camera, but I don't think my flash was on, so I don't even know if this will make it to the video. And then this was the last one I did. This one's kind of, these two are a little bit darker than the other ones. Don't mind my used post office envelope that it's drying on, but anyway, I still think they go well together and they're really beautiful colors. So let me know what you think. Obviously, the size surface that you use, definitely switching from big to small or small to big definitely impacts composition and how you get the result, but the colors are outstanding. Anyway, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.